Hi everybody, Leo Babauta here from Zen Habits, and in this video we're going to talk about something that I've been hearing from a lot of people about, which is, I'm feeling overwhelmed by the number of things that I have. I have a massive amount of things that I want to do, and I want to get them all done. I want to do them all at once, but I can't, obviously. So I want to get them all done, but I don't know which one to do first, and I'm always feeling like I'm behind, and um, my brain is tired. There's like decision fatigue, or paradox of choice is another way that it often goes, because I'm constantly having to decide, what do I do next? What do I do next? What do I do next? And there's so many things, it's impossible to know. And an additional thing to that is not only are we like, oh, I have so many things, but also if I don't get all of these things done, there's some kind of negative consequence, which gives me more anxiety. I have rising anxiety. And then, of course, that can often freeze me up, like just get me frozen because there's just like, I'm really anxious about all of the negative consequences. So, how do we actually deal with this? Okay, so first of all, is this sounding familiar to you? Okay, great. In this video, I'm going to talk about some really simple things that are going to sound too simple to actually take action on. You're going to be like, I already knew that. I already knew that. Leo, you're telling me things I know already. Yeah, but if you were actually practicing them, you wouldn't have this problem, right? So, this might be more of a reminder video for some of you who know these things, but it's also an encouragement to practice the simple things. Sometimes the simple things are the things that we need to actually be doing, but we're not doing them. We're complicating things. We're adding layers upon layers of, oh, I need to do this, and I'm like worried about this, and all of these bad things are going to happen, and I'm behind, and all, so we're adding layers of stress and worry onto the top of things when we could just keep things very, very simple. So I'm going to give you some simple things, and I want you to not dismiss them because they're too simple. Okay, first thing is to make a very simple list. I really like three things. Three things that I want to do today that are going to be impactful, that are important, they're going to move things along in a meaningful way. And if I do that, three impactful, meaningful things each day, my projects will start to move, my life starts to move. So three things. And the reason to limit it to three things is because you have a lot of things that you want to get done and you can't get them all done. So choose three things. Now you're going to ask me, how do I choose three things? I have so many things. Well, there's a thing that I call choosing practice, and it's just sitting, let's say at the beginning of a day, when you're making this list, close your eyes, start to breathe and relax yourself. Relax any kind of tension, deeper, slower breaths. And once you're in this kind of relaxed, open state, I want you to ask yourself, what is most important for me to do today? Like, what's one thing? And it could be something that just comes up and you're like, ooh, okay, this. Okay, great. Let yourself choose that. Now, what's a second thing? Relax. What's another important thing for me to do today? Boom, this. Okay, great. Boom, this. Okay, great. I have my list of three. Now just trust. There's a choosing practice and then there's a trusting practice. I'm going to trust myself to actually, these are the things. I'm going to trust what came up in my little meditation there, my choosing practice. I'm going to trust it. So I want you to choose from the heart. Just trust whatever comes and then write those things down and write them in order. One, two, three. Okay? Now, some caveats to that three number is if you're constantly getting three done, or maybe they're smaller things, it's like, okay, I can do this, but it's really going to take me 20 minutes. I can do more than three. Let yourself indulge and put five things on the short list. Okay? So that's one case. But on the other side, what if you're like three things, I'm really struggling with all three and I'm not actually doing it? Then narrow it down to one. What's one thing you could do today that would be important and impactful, that feels meaningful? Okay, so one thing. Another caveat is some of these things might be things that take hours. And if it's something that takes more than an hour, I want you just to choose the first block of it. I asked someone, what's one thing you could do today that would have an impact? And he said, oh, I'm going to work on this client's project. I have a client and I want to work on their project. And I'm like, okay, what would you do? And he's like, I do this, and this, and this, and this, and then and this. So like 10 things. And I'm like, how long would that take? He's like, 4 hours. And I'm like, this is the thing that you've been procrastinating on for like a couple of weeks? Yep. Okay. We don't want a 4 hour task as your one thing for today. We want it to be like 20 or 30 minutes. So what would be the first step of this 4 hour thing? Well, if I did this, that would actually be the first meaningful step. Okay, great. So he's going to log in, do this thing, and then this is the one step, right? And so, okay, great. Put that on your list. Not the 4 hour version, but the shorter 20, 30-minute version. Now, of course, you can keep going. You know, if this is the thing that you want to really get done today, do the next step in this project. But to start with, I just want you to focus on a 20 or 30-minute, at the most 1 hour, if you're feeling confident. But if you're feeling a lot of resistance, do 20 minutes. Okay. Now, so that's the first thing, is make a short list. Use a choosing practice and then trust yourself. 3 things is ideal, maybe 5 if you're feeling like you can do them and they're not that huge. 1 if you're feeling a lot of resistance, and make them smaller. Next, you can make another list below that of little things. You're like, oh, I want to do this, 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 and this. So I might want to call so and message so and pay this thing. Okay, great. Maybe they're like administrative things, right? Answer this email, put them on the list. But these are kind of like nice to have. They're not your impactful things. They're like, I actually really want to get some of these things done. And I really want you to only put like maybe 5 or 6 things on there. Don't put 20. 20 is too much. Now, if you clear out those top 3 things, and then you clear out the 5 or 6 nice to have things, and you've got more time, great. Keep going. Do another round of this. But for now, what I really want you to do is 3 things and then 5 or 6 small things. And the 3 things shouldn't be 2 hours each. Okay, so that's our list. Next, will be the third thing on our little simple approach here, is just pick the first thing and make that everything. This all that matters. So I want you to clear out, start a fresh browser window. So there's nothing else there. And silence your phone and put it in the next room. Close everything out, get yourself ready. And this is the only thing you have to worry about. Yeah, maybe you have a million things, but right now you only have one. I only want you to think about this one thing. And it is a practice. Of course, you're going to want to do more, think about all of the different things, and you're going to want to switch back and forth. No, I want you to single task, one thing at a time. Just like we can only have one breath at a time, I want you to only do one task at a time. One at a time, one at a time. And they can be small tasks, simple things, but I want you to do one at a time. Okay, next, number 4 on our list here. If you're feeling some resistance for this one thing, I want you to kind of move in and out with it. We're working with it. Okay, so there's some resistance here and you're noticing, oh, I want to go do my emails. I want to go do the million things I have to do. No, I want you to do this one thing, but maybe you just open up the document and read a couple of sentences. Then you go get up and get a glass of water or make some hot tea. You come back and you do the next couple of sentences. Get up and stretch, and then come back and do the next couple of sentences. So you're going to kind of come in and out, small little steps. Take a break for movement and breath and self-care, that kind of thing, but only for a few minutes. Then come back. And we're going to do this kind of in and out, but you're not going to go to another browser tab. You're not going to open up another application. You're not going to open up your phone, no social media or messages. You're not going to let yourself switch. But what you are doing is just coming in, doing a little bit of that task and coming out. Very simple thing. And this is how we're going to work with our resistance. Okay, fifth thing. This is going to be a whole different way to tackle this kind of stuff is you have a lot of things just floating around. And what I want you to do is to start to organize them. And what I mean by that is group them. So for example, I have a lot of like bills to pay and like little, financial things. I'm going to group all of those, put them onto a list of all my financial tasks. And I'm going to do those on, let's say, Friday. And so this approach is I'm going to have a place for everything, right? A place for everything. Just like if you were to organize your house and you're like, this is where my silverware is, and these are my pots and pans, and over there are my books, and over there are my towels. You're not mixing those all together, right? You're not having a shelf that has books and towels and pots and pans and silverware, right? That would make no sense at all. This is my silverware drawer. So I want you to do that with your days and weeks. So for example, Fridays, administrative and financial tasks. And then you can just kind of put everything on a list. These are the things I'm going to do on Friday. And I just put all my financial tasks there, all my admin tasks. Of course, there are some things that might be more urgent, but in general, you get to just group them and say, Fridays is my day for that. I'm going to do it Friday morning, right? So Friday morning, and block it off on your calendar so that doesn't get taken up by other things. Maybe you like to do some weekly and monthly planning and review. I do that, and I do that on Mondays. Monday morning, first thing, and I have it on my calendar. So I know Monday mornings, that's when I do that. I don't try and find a time. It's there. My writing, I have a block every weekday morning. First thing in the morning, well, after the planning, then it would be my writing, right? What else is there? Maybe I have, a bunch of like kind of related calls or meetings. Maybe I can stack them up Wednesday afternoon. Maybe I have household chores and yard work. I'm going to do those on Saturday. So you don't have to follow these exact things, but you see how I'm kind of grouping them together and I have a spot and I block it off on the calendar. And so there's a place for everything. Now, maybe during the day, you might need some blocks as well. So maybe I meditate first thing in the morning and I exercise after work. And I might have some 2 or 3 spots during my day where I regularly check my email and messages and I reply to as many as possible. Maybe I have some blocks for my most important tasks. And I might put those actually on my calendar or set reminders or something, but the idea is that I have a rhythm to my day and my week. Now, that doesn't mean you need to block everything off. I mean, you want to have some open spaces. So you don't want to have your whole week blocked off, but you do want to have some that you kind of regularly check in with. I also like to have a time when I check in with certain people. Maybe I have a certain team member that I meet with every other week on Mondays at 11, right? Maybe I have a teacher or a coach who I meet with regularly. And so you have these regular rhythms. And because of that, I don't have to think about it. I know when those things are going to be done. So what I might encourage you to do is to think, what are the things that I need regular spots for? And where could I place them? And then put them on the calendar. Now, this is going to be more of a process than like, this is set and done. You might be like, actually, that's not working out so much. Let me move it over to here. But I would really encourage you to find a place for everything. Okay, that's what I've got for you in terms of overwhelm and too many things to do and decision fatigue and paradox of choice and all of that. Like, how do we deal with a million things? This is the way to do it. Simple, simple stuff. I hope this has helped. Please, please give me a thumbs up if this was helpful. Leave a comment. What helped you? What questions do you have? Any other things that you have to share with me? I love comments. And then also, subscribe to the channel. I'm really wanting to grow this community, and it helps me to be motivated to create more meaningful content for you. So if you want me to create content, if you want this to be something that you see regularly, it's not just entertainment value, but it's actually adding value to your life, then subscribe and share it with others who could use some Zen habits in their lives.